Proszę?
Gaming, they've been so strong throughout all stage one. Obviously, you saw the record. You see the players on this lineup. You know, in the past, you would say their weakness was their search and destroy. I don't even know if you can say that now. I mean, they're pretty rock solid on every game mode.
Yeah, a little bit up and down early on, but they have really solidified the big part of that is Scump. King Scump has been dominant. He has been absolutely crushing for this team. What weakness can you talk about with him? I mean, when it comes to search and destroy, he's now been a Goliath. He's destroying and respawn. He's been crushing in every capacity. Is he the perfect Call of Duty player?
Matt's got some questions about that one.
I wouldn't say he's a very good player. I mean, I think Scump's probably the best player in the game.
He's the perfect.
But I think saying
it's Scump.
I think saying the perfect Call of Duty player is probably a stretch. I mean, we have some other very talented players, but no, Scump, he's world class in every game mode. I mean, he's top of the line SMG player. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, and again, when we compare these two teams in this matchup, Optic versus TSM, yes, it seems a little lopsided, but a lot of that is because, like you guys said, Optic just as the whole roster is pretty perfect, right? You can't wish for like a better team because, I mean, look at the score, 20-2 record during the regular season. So then what's the silver lining for TSM? What do they have to look forward to in this match?
Well, I mean, TSM, if you get a great game out of Colchan, anything's possible. But I think they've looked pretty good. So they have Ivy playing for Proofy now. They've moved Wheats over to an AR role, and he's been pretty successful in that. I think him and Colchan can really make some noise in the series.
But I think he had it right. S&D. This team, I mean, Pac-Man's been really solid there too. Colchan gets it done with the sniper rifle. That's going to be where they surprise the team. And then also they have, I think there's a little doubt in Optic's mind because you've seen the comments on Reddit or on Twitter where it's like, oh, Optic's getting it done online. They haven't at LAN. It's been Rise Nation winning the LAN events. Is there a little bit of added pressure maybe on them? Whereas TSM, there's zero pressure on TSM.
I don't think there's any added pressure in this series for Optic, to be honest with you. I think they kind of expect to come in here and roll.
Single elimination. It's scary.
Roll through TSM.
Put up or shut up.
That is very true. Single elimination, there is pressure no matter what your matchup is. But let's talk about how they fared against each other during the regular season. Of course, Optic kind of taking that lead 2-0. But then if you look at it, I mean, Optic, like you said, only lost to 2 different teams. They're 2-0 against 9 other teams.
I was going to say, yeah.
How much does that stat actually say in
You
this
can't really
matchup?
hold too much stock in that because they're beating everybody outside of, well, I mean, they split against DT in complexity. And TSM, I mean, look, they're going to need a lot of help to win this series. I don't think anyone would argue that.
I don't know what form of help, like angels on high, what's going to come in to save the day? Because, yeah, I don't know what they can do. You need an off performance from like 2 to 3 players from Optic, and you need all 4 players firing on all cylinders for TSM.
Well, we'll see if that can actually happen as we go towards the weekend. But now that we've broken down half of the teams in the playoffs, we want to hear, of course, it's not just us talking throughout the Call of Duty World League North American Stage 1 Finals presented by PlayStation 4, but we are also joined by Courage and Revan. What do you guys think about the first 2 matchups?
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, we are backstage here, the player warm-up area. Players about to start funneling on in for these relegation matches here today. Very much looking forward to getting the action started. But first, we've got to talk about the major matchups coming on Saturday and Sunday. They spoke about Rise Nation and Luminosity. They spoke about Optic Gaming versus TSM. I wanted to first begin the conversation, right, with Rise Nation, Luminosity. You and I, we cast them throughout the COD World League 11 weeks. We casted their grand finals at UMG South Carolina. I think we both favor Rise Nation here in this matchup. If there's one thing that Luminosity can try to do to throw them off in this ban and protect, what would it possibly be to give themselves an advantage?
Well, first, Luminosity, they've had a lot of time to prepare for this matchup, specifically, you know, going through old VODs, seeing what Rise like to do in that ban and protect. And I don't think you do it with a ban. I think you do it with a protect, you know, maybe protect the tacticals or some that they're not used to playing with.
Okay, so definitely try to use something that you're comfortable with. Maybe Rise aren't as comfortable in that respect.
Well, I mean, you got to take maps to win, right? You
I
gotta
mean,
take
yeah,
4
but
maps to
like
win.
nobody goes home like, oh man, I took a few maps. I feel great about myself.
There's pride and dignity on the line here, Matt. Have a little faith.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's tomorrow. Again, I mean, keep your hopes up if you're a fan of TSM, but be ready. Be ready for possibly a very strong showing from Optic, which is to be expected. But now let's move towards the other 4 teams we haven't talked about yet. The first one we're going to talk about, it is going to be Envious versus Elevate. Now, these 2 teams, quite the story.
For me, this kind of is that marquee matchup in the quarterfinals. I mean, Envy, they start off the season hotter than almost anybody outside of Optic Gaming, right? I mean, the first time they played Optic goes all the way to Game 5. They had smoked in the Game 5, but I mean, to get at that distance, I feel like Envy was playing at the top level, and then things just started to go wrong.
Well, you know, some
I am no stranger to death.
Deathmatch. Black Ops, lock and load. UAV inbound.
Skurwysyn.
Friendly care package incoming. UAV inbound. Friendly Hellstorm inbound.
Ja pierdolę.
inbound. We're winning this fight. Friendly UAV inbound. Friendly Hellstorm inbound. All mission objectives met. Prep for evac.
You never stood a damn chance.
Back again? What you want?
These two teams, the last time they faced, let's take a look.
Be still, please, don't you dare. Oh! Oh my god, Legend's brain is splattered across the map.
Abel's going to have a big defensive stand here.
Go away from him. He's just absolutely been dominating this game, and jeez. I mean, attach guys when they are heated up and they're playing well. These are two guys no team wants to play against.
Yeah.
Like, if you look,
The remaining LG players are inside the hard point as they clear it out. That's going to do it
Wow.
for game one. Luminosity.
doesn't make much sense. You're gonna have replays
Okay.
using the SVG, and never mind.
Okay.
Okay. He absolutely destroys two players.
If Clayster decides to go right for this plant, not going to work in his favor. John is coming up right behind him. Such sick game sense come from John. He's going to spot Clayster. Gets the easy kill from behind.
Sorry there for the incorrect video. We'll be sure all that stuff gets handled out. Just starting up the weekend. No big deal
Still
on
early.
that one. Exactly. But talking more about these matchups that come on Saturday, obviously, they mentioned Envy Elevate and then Optic versus, or no, I'm sorry, not Optic versus TSM. We already covered that.